Hey guys, Corey Beasley with Fight Camp Conditioning, and today we're going to talk about some shoulder exercises to keep those shoulders healthy. So guys, thanks for joining us. If you guys haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe button. We want to make sure you guys stay in touch with us. We've got a lot of good stuff coming out. And like I said before, shoulders, right? A lot of guys are having achy shoulders from getting stretched out, hurt, imbalances, strength-wise, mobility. There's a lot of different reasons why. But today we're going to run through a handful of my favorite exercises. When the guys come in and they're a little bit banged up, as long as there's no structural damage, these exercises are a great way to kind of correct some of the posture, alignment, and some of those strength imbalances that occur from naturally just from training and imbalance for strength training. So guys, a lot of times there's a imbalance or just a lack of mobility in our shoulders just from being rounded out, protecting your chin, living your life, being on your phone, your computer, and all that type of stuff. So where I like to start with a lot of guys, even in our sessions, is just testing the mobility and the range of motion that they have throughout that shoulder joint. And one of the easiest ways is one that we learned from the FRC program with Dr. Andrew Ospina, but it's just called a shoulder car. It's just basically a very controlled articulation or circle of the shoulder, but it's simple as it gets. So basically all we're going to do is I'll do it standing, but you can also do it kneeling, which I've shown in other videos and stuff, but keeping the hips and shoulders pretty still. You're going to go thumb up. We're going to raise up. We're going to go back as far as it can go, and then slowly turn that thumb and work our way back around, and we finish with the thumb out. And then we'll reverse that. Go thumb up till we can't go anymore. Rotate big out of it and come back to front. So basically all we're doing is we're trying to make as big of a controlled circle as we possibly can, explore the range of motion that we got, but we're forced to kind of activate those muscles to get that circle that we're looking for, so you're activating all those little intrinsic small muscles throughout the shoulder. It's a great place to start. All right guys, so this next series we're going to do is just the focus is going to be on moving the shoulder blades without moving our arms, okay? First one is just real simple. You can do it from the ground on all fours. But we're going to have our hands directly underneath the shoulders, arms straight. And then you're going to draw the chin back and then just simply let those shoulder blades collapse together and then press into the floor and move them apart. And we're just going to move. You can do slight circles. But all we're really trying to do is to get those shoulder blades to get moving, right? A lot of people, their shoulder blades don't move the way that they're supposed to. And we'll use these drills as kind of a warm-up to kind of get things moving before we move into intense work. All right, guys, now we've had a couple of different simple just mobility drills with the shoulder cars, as well as just getting those shoulder blades moving. There's a lot of other things that we can do on that side of things, but I just wanted to give you guys a couple, two of them, get you guys moving. You can try them out. Now we're going to start integrating the shoulders into a little bit bigger movement and raising the intensity a little bit, but just by doing some simple crawling patterns. Crawling patterns are an amazing way to kind of develop some low-level stability and strength throughout the shoulder girdle, and they're really easy to do. So we're going to start hands underneath the shoulders, your head's up, knees are just barely off the ground, and you can simply just crawl forward and crawl back. And you don't need a huge space. If you have space, you can go for longer periods or longer distances. But even in short, small spaces, we can just kind of move forward and back and start getting some movement, getting all those muscles firing and kind of waking things up before we transition into the strength work. All right, guys, now over the years, I've stumbled across things I've learned from different people. This AirFit unit that's from the guys at Pure Motion, this circumduction drill that I'll show you in a second is one of those drills that I latched onto. It's one of those things that just felt really good. And I've been using it with my guys and everybody loves it. So it's basically just their pulley system that pivots or swivels on that little pulley anchor. We have that hooked up with a rubber band. But all we're going to do, now you could do this, maybe rig this up with just elastic bands and stuff like that if you need to. But I would highly look into getting this thing as well. But we're basically just going to pin that inside arm to the chest. And then we're just going to do circles, both directions. Big circles like from your forehead to your waistband. Keeping good posture as we do this. And we're just doing lots of repetitions, 15, 20, 30 repetitions each direction. And you'd be shocked how much you get all those little muscles in the back of your shoulder firing. And man, it just feels great. All right, guys, one of the biggest problems, I guess, with the shoulder is just poor posture, right? So a lot of guys, they'll do a ton of pushing exercises and we don't pull correctly. So by doing simple pulling motions, probably 3-to-1 pulling versus pushing, you'll get a lot of bang for your buck. So if just doing a regular kettlebell or dumbbell row is a great exercise to kind of stabilize that shoulder and pull everything back where it's supposed to be. So in this example, we'll just use a kettlebell, but you're posting up, right? We'll have good posture throughout, braced, and then you're going to draw that weight back down towards your hip, like you're going to draw back for a gun or something. But just pulling with that lat. Important to get those shoulders pulled back. So a lot of people may pull and they'll be stuck here, but I want you to be able to pull and get that shoulder back. That's really important, to be able to draw back and finish that row, pulling the shoulder back, so you're training your body to move the correct way. Okay, guys, this next one's an overhead carry. Now, I guess there's a little prerequisite. So if I ask a guy, hey, put your arms over your head, and they go like this, right, and they can't quite get their arms straight, this isn't even an option. I won't have them press anything overhead until we get that range of motion there first, right? So I want to make sure you guys understand that. But if you do have that range of motion, you can put your arms up overhead, your arms back by your ear. You're not exaggerating your posture too much. You're good, okay? So this is a really, really great place to build some stability. And that's just with a single arm overhead carry. So I'm going to use a kettlebell. I'm going to hang my thumb right on the corner of it. We're going to press lock out overhead, and then all we're going to do is just simply move forward. You can move backwards. You can sidestep. You can sidestep back. But the goal is to be able to stabilize with that load overhead, which you'll feel throughout the whole shoulder girdle while you're moving. And that movement creates a little bit more instability, but it's a real great place to spend some time. You know, when you're in that beginning phases, maybe trying to build up something and you're building more endurance, you might do that for 30 seconds, right? You might do that for 5 minutes, right? So it really just another really good drill to build some more strength and stability in the shoulder before we move on to bigger, heavier pushes and pulls. All right, guys, there's a handful of exercises. Now, what you guys need to realize, there's a lot more, right? We could do a whole bunch of different mobility drills and stability drills and strength, and there's a lot of different ways to skin this. Your shoulder is such a complex joint and can do so many functions. We can push and pull from all these different directions, right? And I think it's good to explore and challenge those different ranges of motion so we become strong at all angles. But for today's video, we shared a handful, right? Simple things that you should have access to. But we've had a lot of success building up guys' shoulders so that they don't have pain. They're a lot stronger, they're healthier, and they're able to compete at the best levels. So, like I said, if you guys got any questions, definitely leave them down below. Well, if we don't have the answer, we'll point you in the right direction. And as always, hit that subscribe button, guys. We're doing our best to put out a lot of good content and want to make sure you get it in your hands.